Hello and welcome to How to Win the Lottery. New module announcements. I don't even know. I don't know what season it is. Maybe it's 16. Maybe it's not 16. It's either 16 or 17. I'm going to say that.
Module.
I don't know what it is. You've told me multiple modules. It's not.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. Originally, this module was 120 books long.
Really?
Yes.
So when you told me you were doing a long module, did you mean that long?
Yeah.
So 240 weeks is almost 5 years long. Wow. So this is the same module, just pared down.
Yeah.
How many books are in it now?
10.
What do you do with the other 110?
They're still out there.
Okay. Are any of these books stolen from States or Great American Novel or no?
I avoided that on purpose.
Because we just finished Ohio. We just finished Great American Novel number 3.
Yep.
Sound of the Fury and the Demon. But now we are doing season either 16 or 17, depending on whether or not I can get in touch with a certain author.
Okay, so what I did was I picked a novel for every single year from 1900 to 2020. So one novel for every year from 1900 to 2020.
I do like that this is yet like another thing we could regularly alternate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I decided to not I decided to not randomize this one because I wanted to have a strong comeback after what I thought was a disappointing second person module.
So it's not like we're doing 1900 to 1910.
No.
Or 1909 or whatever.
I picked a decade that I thought was particularly strong.
Oh, but we're doing one book from each decade, or one book from each year in a decade.
One book from each year in a decade.
What decade is it?
The 1990s.
Ooh.
I think there's a lot of 90s there's a lot of 90s content on your network specifically because you had the 99 show.
Yep.
And
still going, still covering. I think they're actively covering right now as we record this intentionally bad movies, which feels okay.
But then also I think that there's a lot of like 90s nostalgia now that we're leaning in on.
So my question to you.
Yeah.
Are we reading these in year order?
Yes.
How many of these 10 books were released in the 90s?
All of them.
Oh, I thought they were books about each year.
No.
Or set in each year.
No.
This is just like the book of the year from 1990 or whatever.
For me, yeah. It's like this is the most interesting book of this year that we could read.
Okay. Interesting.
That came out during this year.
Fascinating. Okay.
Yeah. Book number 1.
1990.
1990. Which might be the reason why I picked 1990 in the first place, because this book will be a movie in theaters around Christmas, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. This is Thomas Pynchon's Vineland.
Fascinating. Okay. So this module, just so you know, this episode, as you know, because we recorded on the day it releases.
Yeah.
September 4th. It's a Labor Day episode.
Fuck, yeah. Labor Day. Sure.
This then goes, the books themselves go from September 11th, never forget, through January 15th. This brings us into 2026.
Holy hell.
Vineland, Thomas Pynchon. Okay.
Vineland by Thomas Pynchon.
I assume this is one you've read.
It is. It is arguably the weakest Pynchon novel, but that is...
As we cover this, there's going to be a new one coming out too, right? Or is that next year?
That will be next...
is it 25 or 26?
No, it's 25, but it might... I don't know if it'll be out by September. I think it'll be out in November.
But during this module, we'll have a new Pynchon novel.
Yeah. We might pause this module a couple times to read new books. Like we might pause it to read the new Danielewski. We might pause it to read the new Pynchon. I don't know.
Okay.
Number 2, and remember, we're trying to make a comeback here, so we're leaning really hard on old favorites.
These are like, it's just doing the greatest hits.
Yeah. Mao 2 by Don DeLillo.
Sweet. Again, one that I'm assuming you've read.
I have not read this one, but I have faith in it.
Okay.
This is the big DeLillo that I haven't read.
These are 2 authors that I've read other books by. I have been on record as saying...
Maybe your favorite author.
And also End Zone is probably my favorite book.
Yeah. So...
I've not read Mao 2, though.
So these are 2 big postmodern novelists who you could argue at this point in the early 90s are past their prime. No longer at the height of their powers, but still like the people that read this stuff in the 80s and are really like...
1992.
1992.
I wish they knew. I don't wish that I knew, but I was almost going to do like a Disney release because it feels like that's like how people define time in the early 90s.
Was it Disney releases?
Maybe Little Mermaid was like 89.
I do not know.
I don't know. Anyway, keep going.
Who won the World Series in 92?
91 was the Twins. I have no idea.
Okay. Who won the Super Bowl?
I don't know. The Giants won in January of 91.
So then it would be the Redskins.
Did they win 92, 93? Then the Cowboys won 3 in a row or 3 or 4, something like that?
I think so.
And the Niners won in like 95. Okay, we'll figure this out.
Yeah.
Ooh, do I do 90s facts for this?
Probably, yeah, by each year.
Sweet. Okay,
like,
cool.
here's a bunch of shit that happened in
So we got Ohio facts, we got 90s facts. Sweet, I love it.
So around 1992,
Yeah.
We have another pod fave. We have All the Pretty Horses by Cormac McCarthy.
A book I own and have not read.
Yeah. Also, this is going to be a little male heavy. So far, it's pretty like white guy heavy, these 90s.
The 90s were a great decade to be an old white guy.
They sure were. They sure were, Joey.
Spoiler, it's always been a great decade to be an old white guy. Keep going. 93. Yeah. The year that the Lion King. No, that might have been 94.
1993, we have Trainspotting by Irvine Welsh. A book that I'm very curious how you will adjust to reading the Scottish dialect.
Nye.
Right.
Okay. Have you read that book?
I have. I've read all the Welsh books.
You've read every book that's ever been published in Wales?
No, Jesus Christ. Kick you in your fucking head. No, I haven't read all of them because
I want to clarify. I was not being intentionally difficult. I forgot his last name was Welsh. I thought you were making
Scottish.
a joke. Fucked up name.
Okay. Yeah, sure. No, he's he's one of those guys like Bret Easton Ellis, but like more so, where his books all take place in the same universe.
That's cool.
It's all Edinburgh or the surrounding Scottish area. And then some of his books now are in Florida, but they're the same characters from there who have moved to Florida. Like there's a detective that was in like the detective from the movie Filth, from the book Filth, with the movie Filth as well. Like now he's
with
like
McAvoy, right?
Yeah, now he's like a guy that lives in Florida. And
did he write, is there a Trainspotting 2 book?
Yeah.
Okay.
There are 3 Trainspotting books. There's Trainspotting. There's a book called Porno. There's 4 Trainspotting books. There's Trainspotting. There's the direct sequel, which is a book called Porno. There's a parallel sequel called Skag Boys.
Okay.
And then there's a book called Dead Man's Trousers. He's got a book called Glue. He's got a book called Married with Stork Nightmares. These books all take place in the same universe.
Okay.
And then we go with Notes of a Crocodile by miaojin. This is a Taiwanese book, an interesting formal experiment, but it's largely about what queer culture is like in Taiwan in the 90s.
And that's in 1994.
Yeah, maybe in the 80s. It might be about the 80s specifically because, yeah, but it's from 1994.
The year that Pulp Fiction changed independent cinema.
Yeah, Notes of a Crocodile by miaojin or miaojin. Not sure how to pronounce that.
QIU.
Yeah.
Don't know.
1995, we have Sabbath's Theater by Philip Roth, which is, I think, our first Philip Roth book.
Even though I feel, is he the author we have talked about the most that we have not yet read?
I mean, he is a top 5 for me.
Right.
And Sabbath's Theater is the one book of his, it's the big book of his that I haven't read.
Okay.
So
you're checking off some personal.
Yeah. You may recall in the conversation that I had with, that we had with Adam Levin, he said that you're either really like an Operation Shylock guy or a Sabbath Theater guy. That those are the 2 best Roth books.
Okay.
And I said, like, I'm an Operation Shylock guy because that's my favorite Roth book. And he said that it's possible then that I won't really like Sabbath Theater that much. So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes.
What Philip Roth books have I read?
You've definitely read The Ghostwriter.
Yes.
That's all that I know that you've read for sure.
I own several of them.
Probably American Pastoral.
I own it. I don't think I've read it. Let's see here. Philip Roth. The Ghostwriter, as you said.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay.
But I own a bunch of them. Okay. 1996.
We have The Atlas by William T. Vollmann.
Another person we have spoken about on the pod a lot, but not yet read by. Okay.
Then we have I Love Dick by Chris Kraus.
Did that become the movie Dick?
No, that became the television show I Love Dick.
Okay.
Chris Kraus is a writer for, I want to say it's semiotics, semiotext.
1998, the year the Yankees started their 3 in a row World Series. Right?
Well, that's perfect because we have The Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver, which I don't think has anything to do with the Yankees at all.
Barbara
Kingsolver.
That's a great name.
Yeah. a book that is highly critically acclaimed. I know a lot of people that really love it. A book that I have not read personally.
Okay.
And then 1999,
The podcast.
to end the year, we have arguably my favorite graphic novel ever written, From Hell by Alan Moore and Eddie Campbell.
Ooh. How long is that?
It's long.
But like it's a graphic novel, so we'll...
Yeah. 500 something pages. So this is our least demographically diverse module.
But we have 3 women
Sure.
and 7 white dudes.
Yeah. It's not great.
But, you know.
Only one person I think that's not white.
Okay.
We'll get him next time.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see what the state provides.
Fuck.
This should be good, though. This is like...
No, it's a good module. It's a good module, and it's like checking off a lot of boxes for stuff that I want to.
I will say,
to go through.
I have wanted to read for a while Vineland.
Yeah.
I mean, vaguely Mao too. Like, I want to read all of his stuff. I just haven't read that. So that one, All the Pretty Horses as well. And I think the other one that I'm most excited about is probably The Atlas for reasons I can't fully define.
Yeah. No, it'll be a good module.
And also From Hell, you know.
Yeah.
So this is good.
I didn't do any gaming out of how long these books are. I know some of them are pretty long.
We'll find out.
We'll figure it out. But we have to do them in order, so it doesn't make sense to mix them up.
It's true.
So we're just going to have to hustle.
So you have...
Get a lot of it done this summer.
110 other books.
I do.
One for each year. Not necessarily the best book or your favorite book, just like a book from that year that is worth covering.
That I found interesting when I was looking at all the books from that year. It's kind of hard to find.
Is literature the same way like movies where it's like, oh, like Spring Breakers is 2012, but like really 2013 and kind of 2014? Like, is it like that, or is it more clearly defined than that?
More clearly defined because they don't get theater rollouts.
Oh, there's not like film festivals
Yeah,
where
it's just like this book is released on this day.
Yep.
Although sometimes you get things where it's like when I'm looking for release dates, it'll fuck me up because like the Dalkey Archive Press will be like, we released this book in 1998, but it's a book that was written in 1961. It's like or you have for example Lady Chatterley's Lover, which was written, I don't remember when, but came out in like 1963, I think, even though that it was like already 30 years old by that point.
Does Hard Case Crime, our favorite publisher to talk about,
I love Hard Case Crime.
Like,
you're the one with the problem with Hard Case Crime, not me.
But How Like a God came out was written like 1917.
Yeah.
But what's like, would that show up as like 1961 or whatever,
Yeah,
or like
probably.
1990 or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep reading.
You bastard. Are there crimes for? I don't even remember.
I think there's crimes.
Yeah.
There's always crimes.
Yeah. Waterboarding.